We're going to go back out to Bank of America Stadium now, where our Danielle Stein is standing by. Danielle, what was the reaction amongst the media members and in the building when the pick came in and it was Tetairoa McMillan, a wide receiver?
Yeah, Nick, I mean, I was just listening to you as you were processing that as well. And I think a lot of people above me at this media event right now have felt similarly. They were not expecting necessarily this is exactly where it would have been landing, especially after those reports from Adam Schefter were coming out just a little bit before that they were fielding some calls from other teams. And it seems that when they didn't get a trade partner for that number 8 overall pick, maybe that's not exactly what was being expected. But like Dan Morgan said, that I think is something we can now look back to more specifically, that they were going to look for the best possible player, not specifically on any position. So I think making a pick at a wide receiver like this is pretty indicative of that they were just looking for the best fit that they could find for their team itself.
Yeah, so I mean, I know you're new to this team, and the first thing you learned was historically bad defense. But you also, you watched the NFL enough and did before you got here to know that Bryce Young came along at the back half of the season. So I guess what I'm saying is, like, as Panthers fans talk themselves into this, if they need to be talked into it, because many of them did want Tet McMillan, I guess help for Bryce Young can't be a bad thing.
Of course not. And this is a guy who ranked 3rd last year in receiving yards in the NFL. He was a first-team All-American, so it's not like they're, just scraping the bottom of the barrel by any means. This is the top receiver in the draft by far and away. So they're getting a really good player that's going to complement Leggett as well. And like they were saying, yes, they do want to be bolstering that offense. They're, of course, going to be looking for a lot of defensive help as well. But that doesn't mean that their offense is complete by any stretch. So I think more additions, more weapons for Bryce is going to be helpful.
Danielle, you told us the reaction when the pick was Tet McMillan. What was the reaction for the Browns-Jaguars trade? And then I'm sure when Mason Brown went off the board to the Browns, there was chatter in there about what that meant for the Panthers.
Yeah, everyone thought when Mason Brown was off, it was almost going to be clear that it was going to be Jalen Walker, that once that pick was made, it seemed like they had their guy. So I think that's where a lot of the thinking from the media here was really looking. But yeah, that initial trade when the Browns decided to trade back and the Jags to come up, they thought really that the Jags are being pretty aggressive in this type of a move. And it showed that they were really interested in Travis Hunter, because we knew if anyone was moving up into that number 2 spot, it was to be getting their guy. And for Travis to be going back to Florida, back to the area that he grew up in. He went to high school not too far away from Jacksonville as well, down in Georgia. So it's pretty cool for him to land back there as well.
All right, Danielle Stein from Bank of America Stadium. We'll let you go because I know GM Dan Morgan and head coach Dave Canales are set to speak if they are not already. So I will let you go try and listen to as much of that as you can, and we will speak to you later, especially on WCNC Charlotte tonight. You'll have live reports, and we will hear from Tet McMillan. Thank you, Danielle.